Hey everybody, Adam with ParaCore, and today I'm going to show you how we run our reporting meetings and how we report on our campaigns. Reporting in digital marketing and paid media in general is weird, and a lot of times you can get tons of graphs with a lot of metrics and slides and numbers and things going up and things going this way, and it's just not really that helpful. And as a business owner, I really hate looking at slides, and I hate looking at trends, and I hate looking at graphs that other people are showing me, just like in a kind of a collaborative environment, because I find it really annoying and a waste of time. So with ParaCore, my vision and the way that we handle all of our reporting calls is that we're really talking strategically on a human-to-human level, talking about metrics from a generalized perspective based on data, but we're not going through every single slide. And I'm going to show you kind of what our reports look like so you can get a feel for what I mean. This is the cover. I've pulled off a bunch of data for to protect client privacy. It's an old report. So what happens is in the reporting call, it looks very much like this. We are sharing a screen either via something like Ring Central, or we're sitting in the same room and we're going over this report. And these are our campaign notes / insights. We call them insights internally. And this is something that we spend a lot of time putting together every single month. We plot all the data, we put it in the report. I'll show you some of the slides later. And then we go through that data and we pull out insights about what's happening and what we should be doing and observations that are taking place and then different strategic recommendations. So on this slide, I might start by saying, all right, the cost per lead has decreased 11% since last month to $25 this month. And then you'll see here that it references slides 8 and 9. As a client, when you receive this report and you get it digitally, it's an online hosted report, you can then go to slides 8 and 9 and see what we're talking about. Slide 12, slide 15. We refer back to slides when something is slide relevant. Now we'll say, okay, appointments booked. Our AdWords appointments more than doubled, 103% increase from 267 from 33. Facebook had no appoints, and so we made it inactive. So, you know, there's a good thing there. We doubled the amount of conversions, but Facebook didn't book anything, so we killed that. So it's not like, you know, sirens going off, the worst things happen. It's just, hey, Facebook wasn't converting. We killed that campaign. And I know that for a fact with this client, we actually tried it again in the future, and it still worked, but not as good as AdWords. Overall, the conversion rates increased from 8.55 to 11.76. However, some of the clients decreased. Some of the locations decreased. Arrowhead and Tucson from 27 to 21. Other locations saw increases. And so we're looking at averages, but we're also looking at specific locations. We implemented live chat, so we're reporting on that. Phone calls, we're talking about increasing. Impression share, that's something that we like to report on a lot because it shows you how much money you can spend and what the opportunity is. So that's a really good one. And then secondary repair services, we're talking about different products that they're repairing. This next slide is kind of a one-off where we, this particular client had 19 different ways to track conversions. So that's a lot. That's a lot to set up and a lot to track. And we just kind of call it out. The first one is visiting one or more pages as a Google Analytics goal. We're talking about call extensions, text extensions, mobile call tracking, 3 different types of forms, an unbounced form, and then like 8 locations, and all locations phone number, and then the live chat. So 19 different ways to track conversions. This is, we'll kind of talk about this. We'll add to it, we'll remove from it, just depending on what's needed. But there's a lot of different conversion tracking going on with this client. Then we move into optimization. So these are more of the strategic discussion. The first slide was kind of, hey, here's what's going on, here's what we're seeing. And this slide is talking about strategic moves. So in March, we tried to optimize for clicks. It worked really well. We saw impression share increased a little bit. And that increased because the cost per click went down from 420 to 346. Conversions almost doubled. And then the cost per lead is cut in half. So that's what we did in March. Then in April, we're going to consider RLSA ads, which is remarketing list for search. And we've seen it working with other clients. So we're going to try it out with this client. So here's where we start talking about big picture strategy. Like, hey, this is what's happening at this location or in this region. This is what we're going to try. We're going to regionalize phone numbers. We're just talking kind of bigger picture. And then as a client, for you, as a client, you can say, all right, I know what we're doing big picture. And they're pulling out the right data to show if it's working or not working. And that's kind of the extent that we go in the campaign insights. Now, that process typically takes anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes, depending on the amount of discussion that's being had and how elaborate the conversation is. And then we send the report, and you can then look at different slides that are further. So this actual report has 27 slides. This is just the month of April. This is the month of March and April. This shows ad spend, clicks. I can say only March, number of appointments, form submissions, average cost per click. So this is cool. It allows you to basically filter based on the date if you want to see historical numbers. If I move a little bit further, this is the Adwords Spend, and then also our management fees. We believe those are part of the investment, so we include them in your total investment. This one was a percentage of spend, which we don't really do anymore. Now we're more flat fee for a variety of reasons, which are in other videos. But anyway, this is an older account. So they did percentage of spend in some cases. This is the cost per lead, all leads, and you'll see here it says inclusive of management fees. So one thing to consider when you're talking to service providers or talking to PPC companies is, are these cost per leads that they promise or that they're seeing with other clients, do they include the management fees? Because management fees are thousands of dollars in most cases. So that really has a huge impact on your cost per lead. So we include management fees in almost all cases, depending on how the conversions are structured, but we try to include it when we can. And then this is cost per lead, including forms and chat. And so you can see that you can hover over these and you can see the numbers. These are pretty basic because they're just one bar, which we try to do. We try and keep it really basic. But that's kind of more or less what it looks like. And then you see we move into AdWords. And so we'll move into all the different platforms individually, like AdWords, Facebook, and then maybe Instagram. But if you want it broken up by products or by services, it might be broken up into products and services moving forward. So I like to say that the reports are about 80% template, 20% custom, because there are things to every campaign that come in and we just add new slides to accommodate those. This is Google Data Studio. It pulls off of Google Sheets and is dynamically updated. And then as we add months, it adds on to this. So we can actually change the date range and go back further if we want. So that's how our reporting works. That's how we approach reports. It's typically a 30-minute to an hour-long conversation depending on the extensiveness of the campaign. But we walk through the insight slides and then we might refer back to these slides depending on the conversation, but really we're sending you the report so you can sift through them. Sometimes there are follow-up questions. Usually there's not because we try and cover it all in the insights. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please open a conversation below. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you liked the video as well. My name's Adam. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.